Greetings, Earthlings. The arcade game is starting to take shape, as you can see here. I've got it mounted, the monitor and the board. Well, the board's back here, and we'll get a shot of that in a bit. But I've got the buttons mounted, the coin acceptor, and that's all operating. I have the, ooh, that's loose, that's okay. Because there's still work to do, closing this in and all. But I have the coin acceptor set to take these, I think they're demonetized Mexican peso coins, but got these on eBay. They're probably worth more now as, you know, tokens, collector's items, than they were as actual money. But they're, you know, being Mexican coins, they're very beautiful, like seemingly many Mexican coins. So I had to get those. And so you can watch here on the screen. Oh, now let me back up a second. I'm powering this from the 16-volt switching power supply here. That goes into a little mess underneath, which again we'll get a shot of. So I need 3 voltages. I need 10 to 28 volts for the monitor. Okay, so that can just run straight off of the 16. I need 12 volts for the coin acceptor. Okay, and that's plus or minus 5%. So I've got a 78 M12 in there, and I bring that 16 volts down to 12 volts, and that feeds this, and that's all that's running off of that 12 volt supply. Which is why I used an M. Well, the other reason is that I had some M's. I would have used probably an L because I don't think this uses 100 milliamps. By the way, okay, so 78L can supply 100 milliamps, a 78M can supply 500 milliamps, and a regular 7812 is 1 amp or 1.5 amps, depending on which data sheet you read or whatever. And then for the 5 volts, now you remember in a previous video, we tried the little buck converter and setting that at 5 volts. And that just gave us a horrible display here because the video circuitry apparently is very sensitive to noise on the 5 volt line or ripple. So what I've done is I've taken that same buck converter, but I've set it to 10.5 volts, and I have that feeding a 7805. And it's good enough right now. There's a little bit of flicker here, and I may still mess around with this some more to try to eliminate that completely. As you recall, when we run off of this power supply, Hi, I'm the forgotten stepchild of power supplies. Yeah, which is a linear supply. The screen is rock solid, but if you look at the screen, you can see a little wiggling still with this setup. But it's good enough for now, for testing. Right, here we are. This is the board screwed down on the 4 corners here, video, audio out. This is the power, 5 volts, ground, 12 volts, and 16 volts. 16 goes to there, 12 goes underneath to the coin acceptor, and the 5 comes right here to the board. Here's what it looks like underneath. This is the power coming in, the 16 volts. That goes to a barrier strip here, and 16 goes up to the terminal strip we just saw, the barrier strip up on top of the up on the aluminum panel. Here is the buck converter. That's set for 10.5 volts. And then here we have the 7805 and the 78M12. And then I've got, just to try to reduce the ripple, I did put an inductor that I had just had lying around that I had made to help reduce, like I said, reduce the ripple. Now I could run this straight off of the 16 volts. It can take it, but then it would need a bigger heat sink. And guess what? That 16-volt power supply is a switching power supply as well, so I would still have switching noise, and I wouldn't really get any improvement over having the buck converter. Although having the buck converter is one extra piece, it's true. But they were so cheap, makes sense to throw it in, and then it runs a little less hot. I can probably, ooh, no, that's hot to the touch, but it would be even hotter. That's not. It's drawing so little current off of there. Remember, the board draws about a half an amp, the PC board. It would be even hotter if I ran it straight off of the 16 volts. So I have the code all pretty much operational, and so let's watch it play here. I put my peso in, and credits. Oh, it didn't like that one. It figures. It's a demo, folks. Come on. There, it took that one. Okay, you see credits went to 1. By the way, I also have it set up for US nickels. That'll give me 5 credits. So you see that brought it up to 6. Green is start. This is move left. This is move right. The start is also a hurry up button. If you hold a button down, then it auto repeats after a brief period. So start, and we get our starting sequence here, which is a ripoff of some other old video game that I don't recall. And I can, like I said, I can speed that up. You see. Okay, and now here is, okay, so you can see we've got tacos, or taco pieces, okay? And over here is the taco count. So you see I've made 1 taco already. There's a complete taco right there. This is hard to do sitting at an angle, you see. So I messed that one up. I messed that up royally. Okay. I'll be at 2 tacos now. There's 2 tacos. And this is how the game plays. And then you play it until you either make 30 tacos or you completely fill the board. Or the game will also end if the rats completely clear the board. What rats? Well, we haven't seen one yet, but we will, I assure you. Rats come along at random intervals and eat the entire bottom row of whatever taco pieces you may have there. And so you can see the auto repeat happening, and so that effectively acts as a hurry up if you just hold one of the white buttons down. Here comes a rat. There you go. So he's going to eat that. I'm currently at 8 tacos, you see, and he's going to eat, I think there might have been 3 tacos there on the bottom. Oh, no, I guess there was only 1 because I totally messed things up. Okay. And so on. Like I said, this is hard to do when you're sitting at an angle. But this is the idea of the game. And there comes another rat. So I was at 9. And yeah, there were multiple tacos there. So I went from 9 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 is correct. Ah, wrong button. Here's a taco over there. And so on. So end the game here without trying to win. There goes a rat. You can see you can also speed up the rats. Why not? So I got one taco still. This is actually quite amazing. Oh, there it is right there. It's not going to last long. Oh, I made another one up here by random chance. Oh, there goes one of them. All right. I think this is going to pretty much, we're getting close. If we could get rid of the rats. At least they're not pizza rats, right? There we go. Game over. Whoops, that went by too fast. You made 3 tacos. Okay. So there's the game as it currently exists. So what's to do from here? Well, I've got to add sound and then build up enclose it more properly. I'll put some sidewalls on it here and maybe a plexiglass or acrylic cover over the board, just so people don't mess with that. I thought originally about having a, acrylic piece here and then coming back and over. I may not do that. I don't know that it's really worth it. This is a prototype after all. So there you have it. Talk about the video game.